Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the 24th Secretary of Defense, Chuck Hagel, and the employer support of the Guard and Reserve National Chair, Paul Mock. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of the colors, the singing of our national anthem, and an invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Right shoulder, pull!
Let us pray. O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, it is written, "Blessed is the land whose God is the Lord." Let us remember on this occasion of the Freedom Award that America owes her very existence to your great guiding hand in her affairs. Forgive us, O God, where we have forgotten you, but where we have faith, increase our faith. Truly, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, and where there is true liberty, there is love and gratitude for those who safeguard that liberty. Upon the walls of one of our most hallowed national monuments is inscribed these words, "When we assumed the soldier, we did not lay aside the citizen." And so it is that we are thankful today for so many who understand and support the unique needs of citizens who are also Reserve and National Guard soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and members of the Coast Guard. Remember, O God, that it is the support and cooperation between our institutions that helps make us stronger as a free nation, keeping faith with the citizen who answers the call of duty. As the scripture says, open the gates so that the righteous nation that keeps faith may enter in. So let us also keep the faith with you, Almighty God, first in our hearts, then in our homes, in our houses of worship, and in all our institutions, so that we may be steadfast in you, our everlasting friend, and our eternal home. Amen. And now, on behalf of all those who have sacrificed themselves in harm's way to defend our nation and our citizens, such as Master Sergeant Michael Lansbury, the Washoe County School District teacher who gave his life defending his students, let's observe a brief moment of silence. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We have as our Master of Ceremonies an incredible entertainer who for more than 40 years has been a dedicated supporter of our nation's military men and women. He has 5 #1 hits and is a great friend of the Secretary of Defense Employer Support Freedom Award program. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Multi-American Music Awards winner, one of America's most loved personalities, Mr. Tony Orlando.
Thank you very much. Well, what a welcome. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the 19th Annual Secretary of Defense Employer Support Freedom Awards ceremony. And let's give that a hand right from the start tonight. I really am honored to be here with you. I want you to know that. This is a very special event. I mean, for the past 42 years, employer support of the Guard and Reserve, better known as ESGR, has fostered a culture in which all employers support and value the employment and military service of members of the National Guard and Reserve. This year, the Freedom Award program received, get this now, 2,864 nominations for the Department of Defense's highest honor for employers of Guard and Reserve service members. The employers here today have gone above and beyond the call of duty to make sure the service members, employees, and their families are taken care of while they perform military duties at home and abroad. When our service members return from military service, employers have eased the transition back to their civilian jobs. Very important. The Secretary of Defense Employer Support Freedom Award is a way for us to pay tribute to the sacrifices and support of these employers. So we would like to take a moment to thank all of our special guests for attending today, ladies and gentlemen. The award being presented to our 15 honorees today is the highest recognition given by the Department of Defense to employers for outstanding support of their employees serving in the Guard and Reserve. Although this Freedom Award honor began 19 years ago, only this year will the number of recipients go beyond 200 employers. Honoring our recipients this year is our keynote speaker, Secretary Chuck Hagel, the 24th Secretary of Defense and former Army Sergeant, who is here today and, as you know, has a lot on his plate. Please let us welcome the Secretary.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you very much. Thank you. Tony, thank you very much. You can dance, sing, whatever hell you want to do here. Is that all right? It's just like a show, really. It's just Vegas in the eastern part of the United States. Tony, I know of your commitment to our men and women in uniform over the years, and we are grateful for that. You have been there over many, many years when it wasn't always a popular thing. So we are grateful for that, and to Lieutenant Colonel Smith and all of you who do so much for our troops and their families. Thank you. Whether you're in the civilian world, whether you are part of the employers that we represent with our recognition here this morning, I thank you on behalf of our country. I saw the President here this week, and he asked me also to convey his gratitude and his best wishes and his thanks for what you do for our country. This is, as Tony noted, an important day of recognition. We all do our part. I understand that. You understand that. But many companies and individuals, leaders, do a little more than just doing their part. And that's what this recognition is about, to note those who go beyond just doing enough. They do more. And we appreciate it. The willingness of American citizens to leave their homes and their jobs and their families when called upon to help defend our country has always been a very defining tradition of this country. But they would not be able to do it, as we all know, without the support and the help and the encouragement of their employers and their communities back home. Today, we have the opportunity to thank those who make this selfless service for our men and women who serve our country, make it possible. Over the past year, the Defense Department received almost 3,000 employer nominations from Guardsmen and Reservists from around the country. The 15 employers that we honor today represent the very best in employer support to our Guardsmen and our Reservists. Some of today's honorees are large companies like AT&T, which has given its deployed Guardsmen and Reservists cell phones and iPads so that they can keep in touch with their families. AT&T also recently announced that they are doubling their goal to hire 10,000 veterans and their family members, which benefits Guardsmen and Reservists because many of them are veterans leaving active duty. Other large companies like Capital One and PNC Bank actively encourage their civilian employees to support activated Guardsmen and Reservists and their families. Today, we are also honoring small businesses. For them, having an employee leave for multiple weeks a year to serve their country can be a significant burden. Yet these organizations celebrate their Guardsmen and their Reservists for their sacrifices and what they do for their country. And they make sure that they know how much they're valued. For JG Management Systems, a firm with only 85 employees, that meant stepping up to pay for an employee's wife and 3 children to meet him in Italy during his mid-deployment leave. For the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services, it meant making sure a Guardsman's spouse had the health insurance she needed and sending Easter baskets to his children. These 15 employers are diverse in size and focus and responsibilities. But what they share in common with all of us is a commitment to doing everything possible to ensure that their people succeed in both military and in civilian careers, because no one in the Guard or Reserve should ever have to choose between them. More employers should follow the example of Zions National Bank, whose president and CEO personally contacts every employee who gets called up for active duty. He does that to make sure they know of the bank's continued absolute commitment to them and their families. Zions also has a military relations manager who tracks deployed employees and initiates an employment reintegration process 3 months before the employee returns. What all of today's honorees recognize is that our Guardsmen and our Reservists, like all military personnel, have unique qualifications and proven leadership experience, the same qualities that drive American companies to hire more veterans each year, not only because they value service, but also because it's good business. As we salute these 15 companies and organizations, we also recognize all of the Guardsmen and the Reservists and their families that they support. Our Guardsmen and Reservists are skilled professionals who make an extraordinary contribution to the mission, from Afghanistan's Korengal Valley to institutions here at home. We encourage more employees to recognize their reality and follow the leadership of today's employer honorees. On behalf of the Department of Defense, congratulations. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you. We appreciate everything you do for our National Guardsmen, our reservists, and their families. And I know they appreciate what you do. You make our country stronger. You make our country better. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Hagel. Thank you so much. And I would like today, we honor, as you know, Mr. Secretary, 15 employers who have provided exceptional support to their Guard and Reserve members throughout the years, regardless of military service, whether their employees are training locally, responding to natural disasters, or globally deployed. They value and support the call of duty. So, if I could have Mr. Mock join Secretary Hagel on stage, we certainly would appreciate it. Let's properly recognize our honorees about now. So there is Mr. Mock. How'd you get here so good? Our first group, Mr. Secretary, is honored today is the small business category, as you so mentioned. Small companies can be uniquely challenged by the deployment of a military member. But these companies have selflessly sacrificed to support their service members and the nation. Our small employer recipients are JG Management Systems Incorporated. They were nominated by Air Force Reserve Colonel Gene Odom. The company provided supplemental health care to an employee transitioning from the military, coordinated donations for a severely injured service member, supported a veteran who lost his home in a wildfire, and paid for a deployed employee's family to visit him in Italy during his mid-deployment leave. Accepting on behalf of JG Management Systems is Mr. Jerome Gonzalez, President and CEO. Bravo! I'm so happy for some of my people. Shofner Vision Center was nominated by Air Force Reserve Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Johnson. Now, Shofner consistently communicated with employees during deployments. It created a program to challenge local businesses to jointly fund community nonprofit organizations that aid military members. It offers free eye surgeries, amazing, to injured service members and discounts all military customers. It highlights military members' achievements online and provides care packages to deployed members. Accepting on behalf of Shofner Vision Center is Dr. Stuart Shofner, owner. Yes, sir. Next is Triumph Pharmaceuticals. Was nominated by Army National Guard Sergeant First Class Brent DeLay. I hope I had that right, the name right. If I don't, please forgive me, Mr. DeLay. Triumph's CEO personally offers support to family members and meets with local business leaders to promote employer support and military hiring. Triumph distributes its oral hygiene products to deployed service members and veterans hospitals. Accepting on behalf of Triumph Pharmaceuticals is Mr. Andrew Birch, CEO. Congratulations, Mr. Birch. Yes. Guard and Reserve employees can sometimes get lost in thousands of employees of large organizations. However, the large employers we recognize today have found innovative ways to individually support their service member employees. Arizona Public Service Company They were nominated by Army Reserve Staff Sergeant Michael Rich. The company created Troops to Energy Jobs, an initiative to accelerate Guard and Reserve member hiring, and launched an employee-led group veteran engagement transition retention network. The company maintains contact with deployed service members, sends care packages overseas, and offers a variety of assistance to families at home. Accepting on behalf of Arizona Public Service is Mr. Donald Brandt, CEO. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Now, AT&T was nominated by Coast Guard Reserve Captain Julia Hine, who I had the pleasure of meeting before this morning. AT&T distributed tablets and mobile phones to service members and provided free gift cards to families during the holidays. Don't get better than that. Its 30-year-old veteran employee resource group has more than 7,000 members who help build calling centers in combat zones, donated prepaid calling cards, adopted troops, and continues to conduct military outreach programs. Wonderful. Accepting on behalf of AT&T is Mr. Scott Smith, Senior Vice President, Human Resources. Congratulations, sir. Now, Capital One was nominated by Army National Guard Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Doss. The company's Serve the Reserve program provides voluntary assistance from associates to military members on extended active service and family support during deployments. It offers a military mentorship program to match newly transitioned veteran hires with associate veterans for a smooth transition from the military to the company workforce. That's so important to them. Accepting on behalf of Capital One is Mr. David Lagassa. Bravo. Bravo, sir. May I make comment that award is one beautiful award, by the way. CH2M-WG Idaho was nominated by Navy Reserve Commander Brett Moscon. The company's Adopt a Soldier program provides veterans and their families with holiday gifts, meals, clothing, and financial assistance. The company helped repair a deployed service member's flood-damaged home and remodel a service-disabled veteran's home. It developed a how-to guide for civilian employers to support military employees and offers an education reimbursement program. And accepting on behalf of CH2M-WG Idaho is Mr. Tom Dieter, President and CEO. Tom, don't shave the mustache. There's not very many of us left. General Mills was nominated by Army National Guard Captain Joel Stamp. Excuse me. The company hosts monthly networking luncheons, annual leadership events, and Veterans Day celebrations to recognize military members. Its Veterans Club sends care packages to deployed troops and develop family support groups. The company prioritizes service members hiring as part of its corporate recruitment strategy and offers a special veterans career website. Accepting on behalf of General Mills is Ms. Kimberly Nelson, Senior Vice President, External Relations. Congratulations. Now, PNC Bank was nominated by Army National Guard Major Eric Luca. PNC's support before, during, and after employee deployments, including hosting a going-away party, staying in contact with family members, and sending cards and care packages, which we all know is super important. PNC helps military members successfully transition to the workforce by offering mentoring and encourages employees to refer veterans for employment. Accepting on behalf of PNC Bank is Mr. Percy Simpson, Senior Vice President. Percy Simpson. Thank you, sir. Thank you. This one's to my heart. St. Jude's Children's Hospital was nominated by Army Reserve Sergeant First Class Dawn Byers. The hospital's active volunteer-based military support resource group supports service members and their families during deployments and works with outside agencies like the American Red Cross to provide family member support. It maintains a military tribute wall of honor to the employees currently serving and veterans. Accepting on behalf of St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is Mr. James Downing, President and CEO. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Zions Bank was nominated by Army Guard, National Guard First Lieutenant Helman Hurtado. Zions pioneered a professional development program offering internships and training specifically for service members and veterans. The bank's military relations group maintains contact with deployed employees and their families, providing home repairs, holiday gifts, and all-important financial assistance. It tracks deployed employees and initiates an employment reintegration process for them. Accepting on behalf of Zions Bank is Mr. Kay Hall, Executive Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, please. I must congratulate to these outstanding large employers who are doing so much for their Guard, Reserve, and veteran employees, and who understand the critical need to help them put their skills to work in the civilian workplace. In my opinion, you all give them the key to enjoy what America is about. Being able to, oh, please, baby. This year's 4 public sector honorees fight fires, work to improve our health, protect our environment, and educate America's children. And those are their day jobs. Our public sector honorees are also dedicated to supporting their Guard and Reserve employees. Los Angeles Fire Department was nominated by Navy Reserve Senior Chief Petty Officer David Danielson. The department staffs a military liaison officer to coordinate support for Guard and Reserve employees, oversee pay, benefits, and promotion, continuity, and maintain contact with service members and their families. Department members support Operation Gratitude, a care package program at a U.S. Army National Guard facility. Accepting on behalf of the Los Angeles Fire Department is Ralph Terrazas, I got that right, Fire Chief, ladies and gentlemen. Senor Terrazas, did I get it right, sir?
Absolutely.
Thank God.
Yesterday.
I got it right. New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services was nominated by Army National Guard Staff Sergeant Stephen Couture. It ensures deployed members and their families are supported during deployments with phone calls and care packages, so important. It conducts large going-away ceremonies for deploying members. The commissioner communicates the importance of National Guard and Reserve employees' contribution to the national security to all employees. Accepting on behalf of New Hampshire Department, home of Adam Sandler. Environmental Services is Mr. Thomas Burak, Commissioner. Did I get Burak right? Very close. Thank God. UNC Health Care System was nominated by Navy Reserve Commander Tom Weiner. UNC Health Care employees maintained a military couple's house while both were deployed and actively taking on extra work to support the service of colleagues. UNC is currently developing a master's degree program for veterans medics to continue medical careers after leaving the military. Accepting on behalf of the UNC Health Care is Mr. Gary Park, President, UNC Hospitals. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you will. Washoe County School District was nominated by Air National Guard Colonel David Clark. Excuse me. The school district supports service members by sending emails and care packages during the deployments and recognizes service members at school board meetings. Teachers volunteer to help children and spouses of deployed service members with babysitting. We all know how important that is. House cleaning, important, and errand running, big time. It developed a program for military members to support at-risk students by mentoring. Accepting on behalf of Washoe County School District is Pedro Martinez, Superintendent. Muchas gracias, Pedro. All right. Now, I'd like to thank this man. We all know what's on his plate. And in my opinion, for him to come to this event today, it just shows you what kind of character he's about. Because there's more on his plate than any of us could probably even want to deal with. So please, ladies and gentlemen, would you please thank Secretary Hagel and Mr. Mock. Mr. Mock, Secretary Hagel.
I appreciate it very much. Thank all of you. You're the ones that make it happen, and the country relies on you. Thank you very, very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stay standing. Please rise for the departure of the official party. We'd appreciate that. I think another hand is proper for that man. Mr. Secretary, thank you, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. And whether large, small, or public, each of our employers honored today provide support at every level, from helping families left at home when employees are deployed, to creating hiring initiatives that reach across the nation. 3 of our nominators representing all 3 groups have recorded a short video for us. So I'd like you to just look at the screen and take it all in. Watch the video as we present it.
Triumph Pharmaceuticals, also known as SmartMouth, is a small business that offers a national brand. As a company with 10 employees, SmartMouth is an example to other small businesses of what can be done to support members of the Guard and Reserve. The SmartMouth team consistently finds ways to show support for ESGR events and the Heroes Care Donation Program. As a job applicant, the company went out of their way to accommodate my needs as a service member. The interview process was initiated during my deployment to Afghanistan and completed via telephone and Skype. The first time I met anyone in person was on my first day at the office. The SmartMouth team has a very supportive culture, and my coworkers have a good understanding of what it's like to serve because they have family members who have served. The CEO of the company, Andrew Birch, also asked me to review the employee handbook to see what changes could be made to make it even more inviting for service members looking to join the SmartMouth team. Andy also held a luncheon for the entire team where he invited representatives from ESGR to explain to everyone the advantages of hiring military members and how each individual could support the mission of the Guard and Reserve in their own jobs. Each time I've been put on orders, Andy personally reached out to my fiancée Amanda with phone calls, emails, and text messages to let my family know that he and my coworkers were there for them if they needed anything. That was so important in giving me peace of mind, knowing that my family had a support network in place while I was away serving in uniform. When I returned from both my training missions, I felt like I had not missed a day because our office leadership made sure there was a plan in place to handle my workload, and my team of coworkers was glad to step up and fill the need. So there was no work I had to make up following my training. As someone who served in both Kuwait and Afghanistan, I recognize how difficult reintegration can be for employees who serve. You go from carrying a weapon and wearing a bulletproof vest to suddenly being in an office environment. For me personally, I was also transitioning from being on active duty overseas in a combat zone to a new career in a new industry. It was very important for me to find an employer who would encourage me to continue my military service and to honor my commitment to my nation, while also making me feel 100% that I was a valuable asset to the company. And I am proud to say that Andy Birch and the SmartMouth team have given me both.
As a large employer with over 260,000 employees, AT&T has displayed many unique individualized ways to recognize and support me and my fellow Guard and Reserve members. I made a difficult choice to leave active duty service and transition to the reserves in 1998. I knew right away that I had to find a job with a company that was not only military friendly, but could also provide continuous growth and challenging opportunities. I questioned how my skills as a ship driver or an anti-submarine warfare instructor could ever translate into something usable in the civilian sector. I can honestly say my angst went away with the very first interview with AT&T. The interviewer was an Army reservist who truly understood the challenges and concerns of Guard and Reserve members. He was part of a vast network of veteran employees at the ready to help potential candidates translate their skills to the civilian sector. More importantly, he reaffirmed AT&T's long-standing commitment to the military, which I eventually had to put to the test. Since working at AT&T, I've been deployed 6 times in support of 9/11, the BP oil spill, and a variety of different hurricanes. Oftentimes, I had to respond with little to no notice and be gone for long durations. Given AT&T deploys to many of the same disasters around the nation with their network disaster recovery teams, they understand the need to respond quickly to catastrophic events. The process was effortless. AT&T has a strong commitment to ensuring deployed reservists and their families stay connected and supported during deployments. This military-friendly culture is emphasized from the top down. Each year, our chairman and CEO, Mr. Randall Stevenson, would send us a personal thank you note and a high-tech gift to keep our spirits high, help us remain connected to our families, and remind us that we are not forgotten. AT&T also partners with many phenomenal charitable organizations and donates millions of dollars to bring services to soldiers on the front line. This support comes in the form of free phone calls home, building calling centers in Iraq, Kuwait, and Afghanistan, donating more than 600,000 prepaid calling cards, and helping to provide 125,000 pizzas to our troops in the Middle East and around the world. The things I've just mentioned are a drop in the bucket compared to what my outstanding employer has done for our nation's Guard and Reserve, and especially me and my family. No words can adequately describe my heartfelt appreciation. AT&T, I proudly salute you and sincerely thank you for all you do.
I am a proud member of the Nevada Air National Guard and an even prouder 7th grade social studies teacher. My teaching career at Washoe County District Sparks Middle School began 18 years ago and has been nothing short of incredible. Especially as a guardsman, I've deployed 3 times to Iraq, as well as completed many other deployments around the globe. I don't have to tell most of you how stressful deployments are, but to a teacher, and more importantly to his students, deployments are even more difficult. Teachers who deploy with the Guard or Reserve leave their biological children for months or years, and they leave a classroom full of their other children. But I'm lucky. Through all my deployments, my school district, its superintendents, and students and fellow teachers were extremely supportive and encouraging. They made my military career and that of other Guard and Reserve teachers possible. One of those teachers was Master Sergeant Michael Lansbury, a comrade of mine at the 152nd Airlift Wing and a fellow teacher. I use the word was because Sergeant Lansbury, Mr. L as he was known to his students, was shot to death last autumn while protecting his students from a gunman. Mike, as I called him, was performing his duty on the playground the morning of the shooting, just as he had performed his duty in numerous tours to Afghanistan. Mike, like me, always had the Washoe County School District's full support for his military duty. It's ironic, yet tragic, that Mike served his nation in combat, only to make it home safely and be killed on the schoolyard. But that was Mr. L, AKA Master Sergeant Lansbury, a true citizen soldier, trained and ready to defend. In the days and weeks following the tragedy, the school district, led by Superintendent Pedro Martinez, demonstrated incredible support, going so far as to allowing me to represent the Air National Guard and Sparks Middle School at several community events honoring Sergeant Lansbury. I could think of no better way than to thank all the members of the Washoe County School District for their outstanding support to the Guard and Reserve service members than to nominate them for the Secretary of Defense Employer Support Freedom Award.
You know, I want to thank you all for sharing your personal stories. I had lunch with many of the honorees today, and I got a chance to meet them up close and personal, and to meet guys who are, and ladies, who are so successful in business, who have not forgotten their American heart, who have not forgotten what it is to care for our veterans and our reservists, and it's not a selfish thing. You know, corporate people often don't get the recognition I think they deserve, and here is a chance to give them the respect that they give back to the nation. I think they deserve applause today. Thank you. With all our recipients, please stand. We'd like to thank you. Thank you for your hearts. Okay, now here comes the worst part of the whole day. So I have to share a story with you while I was in Iraq. So I go to Iraq to perform for our troops. This is 2007. And I get out there, and I'm in an open field, and I come on stage, and I look at the first 4 rows, and there was really a crowded field of wonderful young men and women. And there was one particular young man sitting about where you are, sir, in the 3rd row. And he was looking up at me, and he had a look in his eye that I will never forget as long as I live. And I could read his lips. He turned to his buddy and went, "Geraldo?" He had no idea who I was. But thank God in heaven, when I mentioned the song "Tie a Yellow Ribbon," anybody remember that song? Thank you, God, they're old enough to remember. When I mentioned the song, to my surprise, every young man in that field and woman knew this little song. Now, if I may just take a moment, because it's not often that a kid that never went further than the 8th grade, born in Hell's Kitchen, New York, gives a speech at the Pentagon. And I ain't going to let it slip by. Ain't going to happen. I want to share with you the first time I ever sang Yellow Ribbon. Mr. Secretary, thank you for the lunch yesterday and for your time at the office. Paul, thank you. But the first time I sang it was in 1973. I am now 70 years old. I was in my middle 20s, a long time ago. I get a phone call, and the phone call goes like this. Hi, this is Bob Yellow Ribbon Hope. I said, really? This is Frank, I don't believe you, Sinatra. Who is this? He said, no, this is really Bob Hope, Tony, and I'm here with Dolores in Dallas, Texas, and we want you to come by and sing that Yellow Ribbon song for the welcome home our POWs from Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. Would you do it? Realizing it was him, of course, humbly I said, of course, Mr. Hope. He said, you're going to open the show. I said, but Mr. Hope, how many people are going to be there? He said, 70,000. I said, Mr. Hope, the song is number 75 with a bullet. They won't even know the song. He goes, my boy, when you step off the plane in Dallas, it will be number 1. I said, really? Why is that? He said, because you're talking to Bob Hope, that's why. So I get there. Now, understand something. I'm a nervous wreck. I'm going to work with the great Bob Hope with a line of stars that goes as long as your arm. 70,000 people at the Cotton Bowl. And I'm opening the show. And he says to me, you're going to be singing this song for the rest of your life. And I said, really? He said, yeah, you know why? Because that opening line, I'm coming home, I've done my time. Every soldier's mother, that's her prayer. That they come home safe and sound. And we have 580 POWs sitting out there on the 50-yard line. They were tortured at the Hanoi Hilton, and their mothers and fathers are in that 70,000. And when you sing that opening line, I want you to commit to it. I said, okay, sir. I get out on stage, and I start singing Yellow Ribbon. Comes the chorus, because it was number 1 in Dallas. 70,000 people started singing the song. 580 of the POWs, who, by the way, I've reunion with ever since that day, 42 straight years. So, I look out. Now, performers get crazy if everybody's standing and applauding and one guy's sitting like this. You worry more about the guy sitting like this than the standing ovation that you got. Why? I don't know. You want to please everybody, I guess. And I get on stage, and I get to the chorus, and they're singing Yellow Ribbon. The POWs, whose eyes had not even adjusted to daylight yet, are singing Yellow Ribbon, except one guy. One POW sitting in the front row like this. So the show's over. I walk over to Mr. Hope. I said, Mr. Hope, did you notice that one POW? Did I say anything to upset him? He wasn't clapping his hands. He wasn't singing along. He goes, go ask him. You sure? He said, go ask him. I said, excuse me, sir, my name is Tony Orlando. I was the opening act today, and I did that song Yellow Ribbon, and I noticed you were not singing and clapping your hands. And did I say anything to offend you? And he goes, oh, Tony, I'm so sorry. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is John McCain. He said, my shoulders were pulled out of socket. I couldn't clap my hands. But what you didn't see was my big toe in my shoe doing this. I wanted to share that simple story about another simple, great American, as all of you are. I want to take this opportunity to seriously thank those of you in service for the service you give our great country and for the honor it is to be able to perform for you and to be here for you today. Thank you for all you do for America. I mean that sincerely. Thank you so much. Now, here's the hard part. Clear your throats because you're going to sing with me. No, I'm not kidding. Clear your throats. Come on. Thank you very much. Okay, Marvin, They're ready. Hit it. Come on. Come on. Let's do it. Come on out here, sweetie. You do with it. I'm coming home. I've done my time. I've got to know what is and isn't mine. And if you receive my letter telling you I'd soon be free, the words are up there on the screen, so you better sing with me. She wrote and told her, please. Okay, let me hear you guys. Come on. Whoa, tie yellow round the old tree. It's been a long year. Do you still want me? If I don't see him round the old tree, I'll stay on the bus. Put the blame on me if I don't see that yellow ribbon round me. How about a hand for this young lady? She was great today, huh? Bus driver, please look for me. I couldn't bear to see what I might see. I'm really still in prison, and my love, she holds the key to that simple yellow ribbon. You want to try a chorus there with me? I wrote and told her, okay, hit it, girl, hit it, go ahead.
Oh, tie yellow ribbon round. Oh, yellow ribbon.
And she wasn't born yet. If I don't see a ribbon round the old tree, I'll stay on the bus, forget about us, put the blame on me. If I don't see a yellow ribbon round the old tree. Come on, hands together like the old days. Come on. Yeah, okay. Now this part's very important, so get it going. Here we go. Now the whole Pentagon is cheering, 'cause they can't believe what they see. 100 yellow ribbons round the old tree. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. We're gonna tie each beautiful ribbon. Each beautiful ribbon. Oh yeah. Just like that. Keep it right there together forever. We're gonna tie that yellow ribbon around the old tree. Thank you for having me, everybody. God bless you all. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 19th Annual Secretary of Defense Employer Support Freedom Award Ceremony. Please join us in the adjoining atrium and hallway for a reception. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.